The 2K Sports pregame show.
Ernie Johnson joined by Shaquille O'Neal. Kenny the Jet Smith, thanks for tuning in. You're watching the NBA on 2K Sports. Our game tonight featuring the Portland Trail Blazers as they go up against the Houston Rockets at Toyota Center. And for Houston, they must be satisfied with the way things have gone for them over the first few months. They've played with confidence and composure and have won more than their share of games. And facing off tonight, two offenses that practically live behind the arc. Kenny, talk about the value of being able to hit the three consistently in today's game.
Well, before, back in the day, so to speak, it was just a tool you use. But now it's a very important tool to have in your toolbox because now teams can't gear in on you. It spreads the floor. It makes defenders chase you all around. And there's not a lot of big guys, no more Shaquille O'Neals in the NBA. So you could play small ball.
I don't picture you as a guy who even has a toolbox.
You know what, Ernie?
I bet you can't fix anything around the house. I bet you're just like me.
My handyman,
yeah.
555-1212, he has the toolbox.
You know what, Ernie?
It's an all-Western Conference matchup in today's game as the Trailblazers come into town for this one. We're happy to have you with us for 2K Sports midweek presentation of NBA basketball. With Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan. You look at Houston. These guys are hot, no doubt about it, continuing to put up win after win.
And during this streak, guys, one thing you can see on this team is that everybody's role is clearly defined. Every player knows exactly what's expected of them. All the pieces seem to be fitting together perfectly.
Yep, and there isn't a more confident team in the NBA right now. Believe me, none of the guys on that team think this winning streak has happened by accident.
Let's take a look at our starters for Portland. Lillard at the point with C.J. McCollum playing the 2. Davis is out there with Myers Leonard, and it's Aminu in at the 3 spot. The pass to McCollum. Kicks it out to Lillard. Parked down low that time, and he got the 3-second call. Houston's gone 1 of 2 from long range in the first quarter. Freak kicks to Hart. Harden. Here's Freak. Gets it to go from beyond the arc. Freak's got 6.
They really can't allow him too many open looks like that. I mean, that's just inviting trouble.
First 1:30 gone here in the first quarter, and Lillard kicks to McCollum. No good with the triple.
I'm shocked that didn't turn into 3 points. I mean, he makes you pay on those nearly every time.
Very well done that time. Found the best look possible.
They need to stop this run.
You know what, Kev? I think it's time to switch some things up, either by going to your bench or with a different look defensively to disrupt their rhythm.
Leonard, no luck.
That's the 3rd straight miss to start this game, and they're still looking for their first basket.
And a wide-open look for Freak. They get it again. Booker. There's the basket and make it a double-digit lead.
And it's like raining buckets right now. I wonder if this is the early stages of a blowout.
Well, we've got to be careful. Don't want to get ahead of ourselves just yet. But it has been pretty ugly so far, no doubt about that.
Here's Freak. Throws down the breakaway jam.
You could not diagram a better way to open a quarter.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, look at the lead they've jumped out to already. What a start.
Now, here's Lillard. He picked up 24 points in their last one against Indiana.
And also 3 steals, so he showed some grit and determination on the defensive side.
Davis sets a screen, and Damian Lillard with the bucket on the assist by Aminu.
And, it took them a while to get going, but they finally connected now on their 4th shot of the game.
Freak dishes to Johnson. Harden inside the three-point line. And again, the Rockets good for two.
They're really struggling defensively, giving up too many easy buckets.
A great point. Really an embarrassing performance defensively, and the coaching staff can't be happy.
All right, let's go over to the sideline with Doris Burke.
Hey, Kevin. Well, the Rockets coach had some advice for the team over that last break. He said their plan was run their offense through James Harden. Coach clearly wants him to get going here early and ensure he gets on fire and makes the kind of offensive impact everyone knows he's capable of. We'll be watching how these adjustments work. Kev, there's still a lot of time left in this game.
Thanks, Doris. The Trailblazers making a switch here. Monty Eunice has checked in.
Steady work at the free throw line. Just what we're used to seeing out of him.
Now here's Freak, covered by Lillard. And it's Freak missing.
Yeah, great look, but disappointing with a miss.
Boy, what happened on that one, Greg? I mean, that's almost an automatic shot for him.
And now we've got the intentional foul.
Yeah, not sure what that was about. I mean, talk about a brain cramp.
Yeah, yeah, completely a brain fade. I don't know where that came from. Just lost sense of time and the situation.
Corey Brewer's checked in for the Rockets. Portland also making some changes. Anderson, he's checked in for Davis. Lance Thomas comes in for Al Farouk Aminu. And it's Mills in for Lillard. There's the dish to Brewer. Passes it to Freak. On the wing, Brewer. Howard kicks to Freak. Clock at 4. Drills the three-pointer. Freak's got 11 points.
And he found the perfect spot behind the arc there. Big gap in the D.
And the foul is... And then for Houston, Morris checked in for Brewer. Harden comes in for Mario Chalmers. And Freak subbed in for Patrick Beverly. Myers Leonard, he's... Portland trailing here. And now they decide to foul intentionally. And Mills kicks to McCollum. Mills passes to Thomas. Leonard sets a screen for Thomas. Spiked away. And it's out of bounds. The Trailblazers able to retain possession here. 4 on the clock. Near the three-point line, it's McCollum. And it's good off the back of the rim and in. McCollum's got it all tied up now for the Trailblazers. Freak dishes to Harden. We've got 1:23 left in the first half. True on the 14-footer. Harden's got 10.
And, fellas, in this quarter, he's improved on what was already a very good performance in period.
And that concludes the first half.
Thank you, Kevin.
Welcome back, folks. Thank you for tuning in. And so the big win by Portland in a tight game.
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Welcome back, everybody. Ernie Johnson here along with Shaq and the Damian Lillard. What are your thoughts, Kenny, on his game tonight?
It was a very physical performance.
And that brings us to the end of our broadcast for this evening. For Kenny Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, Kevin Harlan, and good night. And we'll see you again soon, but not soon enough.
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello, everybody. Ernie Johnson here alongside Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. Welcome to the NBA on 2K Sports. We're bringing you the Houston Rockets out at Toyota Center as they face off against the Denver Nuggets. And it's been disappointing lately for Denver. These guys are in the doldrums, a real tough stretch with only one win to show for their last 9 games. And so the All-Star break is behind us. Second half of the season is upon us. Shaq, is this where we'll see the great teams start to separate themselves from the rest of the pack?
Yeah, I think so, but still a lot of games left to be played. A lot can happen that's out of your control. Just got to keep a strong mindset, work hard, and just hope for the best.
But this is where the postseason picture will start to get in focus, because right now we're trying to figure out who's going to be who and who's playing where, who's the matchups, and you come in with those great graphics at the end. But this is where it starts.
We have the Nuggets as the road team for today's Western Conference matchup. Mucho gusto, and welcome to Noche Latina on 2K Sports. From the jerseys to the food to the halftime entertainment tonight, a distinctive Latin flavor. This is Kevin Harlan with Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. Taking a look at Houston, they're one of the most dangerous teams in the NBA right now. Houston making some changes. Capella's checked in, and it's Brewer in for Joe Johnson. And the Nuggets making a change here. An intentional foul committed, but for what purpose, Greg? I'm not sure.
A scene of confusion right there. I can't imagine why he thought it was a good idea to foul there.
And it's tied up with that one. 34 seconds left here in the first quarter. From deep, and that one's good. Freak's got himself going there, his first points of the game on the deep ball. And he commits the intentional foul.
Yeah, not sure what that was about. I mean, talk about a brain cramp.
Yeah, yeah, completely a brain fade. I don't know where that came from. Just lost sense of time and the situation.
Here's Freak. 11-point game his last outing. The half-court bomb falls off target. Here's Ezeli. Beautiful dish, and the layup goes down. Ezeli's got his first basket.
And it doesn't really matter who starts the break with how he runs the floor. He seems to always be the one who finishes it.
Yeah, he is so fun to watch, and how he attacks the rim at full speed like that, man. It's something to behold, the way that guy gets to the rim. Not the guy you want to send to the line, Kevin.
For Denver, they have knocked down 8 of 9 free throw attempts. I'd say those numbers read pretty well.
And what an advantage. You really feel like you can always trust him when he's at the line.
Out of bounds, Denver takes possession.
You always want a player to have his head up and to be surveying the court, but not if that's going to be the result.
8 seconds left to play here in the first. With 4 seconds on the clock, no luck. Barton, no luck. A nice first quarter of play. We've seen plenty of offense so far. Nuggets ahead, up 2. And back with the start of the second quarter in just a moment. And it's an interesting concept that Dwight has to take something very seriously in order to have fun. He does say he has a... And that'll do it for the first half. Game tied. And time now to go courtside as we send you over to Doris Burke from the sideline. Doris?
Well, James, throughout the first half, you struggled with turnovers. Is keeping better control of the ball a major focus for the second half?
Yeah, that's still too many turnovers, especially on forced turnovers. So we got to really lock in on our turnovers, make the right play at all times.
James, we appreciate the time. Guys, over to you.
Thank you, Doris. We'll be back after halftime as the third quarter gets underway.
Okay, guys, let's focus and get down to business. Now, here's a few things I took away from the first half. First off, I love how opportunistic we've been, capitalizing on just about every turnover. They're most exposed on D right after they cough it up, and we've done a great job of taking advantage of that. I did like the scoring punch we got off the bench. That heated things up for us when we had to have a little something extra. The pace of the game, just to bring that up real quick, isn't a huge concern because I think we're suited to play at any speed. But somewhere in the middle of the tempo spectrum would probably be ideal. And that's all I wanted to go over with you. Let's go play a good half of basketball.
We have a close ball game on our hands as we get set for the second half of basketball. An exceptional performance so far from James Harden.
And he just went off in those first two quarters, guys. He's capable of doing that on a consistent basis as well. So we might see some changes from a defensive standpoint as they try to disrupt his rhythm in the second half.
You know, guys, I think you've got to make some sort of change. I mean, they can't let him continue to torch him up like he has been.
Chalmers is out there with Harden. Then there's Trevor Booker. Then there's Johnson. And it's Howard in at the 5, roaming the paint. So the Nuggets win it on
The 2K Sports post-game show.
Hey, y'all. Ernie Johnson here, along with Kenny Smith and Kenneth Fareed. He was the steady and reliable hand throughout the game. And that wraps things up, folks. Thanks for joining us. For Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, Kevin Harlan, and the rest of the 2K Sports.
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Ernie Johnson welcoming you to the NBA on 2K Sports. I'm here with Shaq and the Jet. Tonight, we'll be watching the Houston Rockets playing against the Minnesota Timberwolves. So for the Timberwolves, their last game, a loss to the Pelicans in New Orleans. That game was high scoring. Tonight, they'll need to be better defensively. We'll be watching Dwight Howard patrolling the paint tonight. He's no longer the unquestioned best center in the NBA, but there are times, Shaq, where he can still be a dominant force.
Yeah, you know, he still has that physical advantage, Ernie, against 99% of the guys in the post. That's what I've been saying for a long time. And he does this every now and then, but that's what I've been saying for a long time. 28 and 10, I think he could do it. And every now and then, he can do that.
Well, Superman is in
Don't
the
you
building.
say it.
Okay,
Don't you say it.
Okay, I thought he was.
If
but
you say it again, I'm going to reach across this table.
I won't say it anymore.
Okay.
But his defense is
Minnesota Timberwolves. At center, John Henson.
Welcome, everyone, to NBA basketball here on 2K Sports. Tonight, it's Noche Latina, a celebration of Latin culture in the league. It's become an annual. This is Kevin Harlan. Looking at the last game for the Houston Rockets, it was a loss to Denver.
Yeah, they were just pounded on the inside, particularly on that backboard. That was a huge disadvantage for them.
Well, that's always a disadvantage when you get blasted on the glass. They needed to do a much better job of getting inside position, and if you can't do that, it's going to be a long day on the backboards.
And checking out Minnesota's opening lineup, the athletic duo of Levine and Wiggins on the perimeter. John Henson out there with Towns, and it's Rubio in at the point guard position.
Kev, he needs to be more cautious. That's 2 fouls in less than 60 seconds.
And the Rockets making a change here. Beverly's checked in. So both teams making. "17 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Here is Felton. He's got 5. Floats one.
Boy, he blew the easy 2 by profiling. Trying to look good. That's a bad decision and poor execution.
And indeed, they're going to look at it again. They need to be certain he beat the buzzer.
And the NBA Replay Center in Secaucus is queuing it up, and even before we look at.
Well, it's been a high-scoring competitive game through the first quarter of play. Rockets ahead. They're up by 3. After this break, we'll be back with the start of the second quarter on 2K Sports. And we heard from John Henson before the game, a player on the rise. He feels he still has a lot to prove. Well, it sounds like he still feels like he has something to prove, Greg, but seems to me he's already known for being that kind of guy.
That's a great point. Anybody who plays against him knows he looks plenty strong when you're banging with him. But if he needs to push and motivate himself by playing with a chip on his shoulder, well, a lot of guys have gone a long, long way in this league using that method.
And as we return, it's Noche Latina, celebrating the NBA's connection to the Latin American community. And looking at what we've seen from Houston, what do you guys think?
A lot of tough D being played by them so far. It's been the difference maker.
Greg, no uncontested shots for the most part. That's why they've had success.
Okay, time now for an injury report.
He told me that it doesn't look too serious. If he were to miss some time, it would be a very tough loss for his team down the final stretch of this season. They're hoping that doesn't happen, guys.
Thank you, Doris, for the update. We appreciate it, and we really hope for the best, as always.
And he's a tough guy. My guess is he'll be back before we know it and better than ever.
Greg, I sure hope you're right. I mean, there are just so many uncertainties when it comes to dealing with injuries, though. Let's hope for the best.
Freak, he's in at the point. Trevor Booker is out there with Etuan Moore. Then there's Chalmers. And it's Capella in at the 5, roaming the paint. So that's who's on the floor for the Rockets.
Really well done there. Just confident and composed, never in a hurry.
Harden has a wide-open look. No good from outside. The Minnesota Timberwolves come into this one following a loss to New Orleans. And we finished one half of basketball. Timberwolves lead by 8. And now we'll send it down to Doris Burke, who's standing by courtside.
Well, Ricky, what does it say about this team to have such great productivity from the bench, and what does it do for you guys as a unit?
Okay, let's get it together, guys. We're not that far out of it, and it's not going to take much to get this building going again. Listen up. The key phrase for us in the second half is ball security. Keep the turnovers down, make smart passes, and protect the ball. We haven't done that. And I know we've got work to do, but let's not.
The second half just about to get going here. Karl Anthony Towns has been sensational.
I know we've said this many times before, but what a great first half. Just an.
So Houston wins it. It was up for grabs. And now let's catch up with Doris Burke, who's standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Dwight coming.
The 2K Sports post-game show.
Kevin, much appreciated. And now let's present our Jordan Player of the Game, Patrick Beverley. He put up a new season high tonight. And if he keeps shooting like he did tonight before the season's over, he might top it. A big key to his team's victory here. And that'll do it for our broadcast tonight. Hope you enjoyed the show. For me and Kenny Smith, and Shaquille O'Neal, and Kevin Harlan, and the entire 2K Sports crew, have a wonderful evening.
Let's go. I got next. I see him.